Attention Austin musicians and music industry professionals. Are you having a difficult time navigating these tricky waters? Well, the Austin Music Foundation is here to help you. The Austin Music Foundation is a nonprofit dedicated to strengthening and connecting the local music community with innovative programs that empower musicians, music industry professionals, and music businesses within Austin's creative economy. With expert panels, consultations, mentoring, and mixers, AMF's programs provide the necessary tools and opportunities to help the Austin music industry succeed. Now look, ever since COVID took over last year, everything's moved online. The consultations are online. They're at no cost to the artist or to the music industry professional. Just go to austinmusicfoundation.org. That's austinmusicfoundation.org to find out how they can help you. Austin Music Foundation is here to help. Let's get down. Hey gang, we all know Spotify has become the ultimate app destination for music lovers. I have an account and I love it. I find new music by following Tastemaker playlists, and I make my own playlist that I share featuring music from guests that have been on the show. But did you know that aside from millions of songs, Spotify now has all of your favorite podcasts, including How Did I Get Here? Yes, all of your podcasts are available on Spotify. Just go to Spotify.com or download the app from your app store, and don't forget to follow How Did I Get Here? That's Spotify. Millions of songs, thousands of podcasts. Let's get down.
And you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here?
It's time for How Did I Get Here? And now here are your hosts.
Hello, I'm Johnny. I'm your host. Welcome to the show. I hope you guys all had a good weekend, whatever it is you did this weekend. I had a really fun weekend. I did. I went to a couple of outside places and ate. I went and had a taco on Friday with my girlfriend and my friend Paul English. Then my girlfriend and I went back to her house after some drinks, maybe a bottle and a half of wine. We started dancing. We had a dance party until like 1 a.m. It was fantastic. Fantastic. I did not feel well the next day very much, but ended up going to dinner with some friends at another outside place. And it was amazing. Amazing weekend. Getting to go places. You know, I had my first vaccine shot like a week and a half ago. I'm going in next week to get my second. And I got to tell you, man, it's been a year where I've been in my apartment the whole time. I know I've said this 1,000 times, but this whole isolation thing, this whole quarantine thing, this whole living in fear thing, it got to me. And it feels really, really good to go somewhere, sit outside, eat a taco, have a cocktail, see people living. There's a lot of dogs out there now. When I'm going to these outside places, there's dogs everywhere I go. It's amazing. All these cool dogs, people. It feels good. It's been a challenging year. A lot of people ended up turning this whole year into some kind of art. You know, I've written some songs about the stuff. I ended up doing over 100 podcasts. Well, like 150 or something, 160 maybe. Since the pandemic, a lot of shows. I've written a lot of songs. I've recorded some singles that are coming out. But a lot of people have like took the pandemic and turned it into a gigantic work of art. And my friend, today's guest, Ismael Quintanilla III, who is returning to the show for the second time. He's a fantastic photographer here in Austin. He's won Best Photographer at the Music Awards and all the awards. He's the best guy. Right now going on, you go get Ismael because he's the guy. In fact, I've been trying to get him for a shoot before he becomes too famous to shoot me. Anyway, Ismael Quintanilla III has turned this whole COVID-19 thing into a masterful piece of work. This gorgeous book called I Am Here All Day. You can buy a physical copy or you can get it online. You just go to iq3photo.com, click on the book thing there, and you'll get to see it. I'll put a link directly to the book thing. You should check it out. At least get the digital version. It's amazing. It has 118 portraits, features all these artists. One side of the page is a beautiful photo that Ismael took with you doing whatever it is that the artist does during the quarantine. Usually playing music, writing songs, being funny, looking out the window sadly like the cover does with my friend Audrey, the amazing Audrey from Venom, who I love. So there's all these people in there. Let me read you what Ismael wrote about I Am Here All Day. I Am Here All Day showcases the state of the Austin music community through images of artists and their stories written between March and August of 2020 about their experiences during the rapid onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. The narratives offer distinctly different emotional perspective, which threaded together dictate the flow of the book. This anthology proves how even as we all take our own paths at different paces, our community is inevitably united in its determination to proliferate creativity. This is a story of resilience, of Austin musicians rising to the challenge of making impactful art against all odds. I Am Here All Day is 240 pages, encompass 118 unique portraits accompanying COVID-19 pandemic anecdotes from Austin musicians such as Jackie Venson, Audrey Campbell of Pleasure Venom, Mobley, Sabrina Ellis of A Giant Dog, Gina Chavez, and many, many more. I'm Here All Day Spotify soundtrack features 147 bands from musicians profiled in the book. The book also there's a physical book printed on 10 by 8 premium matte paper with a beautiful image wrap hardcover, which I am ordering right now. I'm Here All Day. The complete proceeds will benefit nonprofit organizations in Austin, Texas, including HAAM, the Sims Foundation, DAWA, Banding Together, ATX, Free Lunch, and Niñas Arriba. This is a fantastic book. As I said, it has Lowen, Jackie Venson, Lord Friday the 13th, Primo the Alien, Moving Panoramas, Day Eater, The Deer, Yate, Riders Against the Storm, and even me. Yes, I'm in the book. So definitely get it, man. It's a beautiful book. It goes to benefit all of these incredible nonprofits. It's incredibly selfless of Ismael Quintanilla to give away all of the profits of this and all of the proceeds to these nonprofits that he believes in, because he's such a great person, and it's such a testament to who he is as a guy and why all of us in the music community adore him. He's not just a photographer. He's our really dear friend and like a brother. Un hermano. All right, so without further ado, please enjoy me and my dear friend Ismael Quintanilla talking about his beautiful new book, I Am Here All Day. Let's get down. Ismael Quintanilla. Welcome back. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty great, brother. How are you?
I'm good, man. I was just thinking about the last time I saw you was when we did the Blowies thing. I can't even remember when that was.
Man,
it was before the election,
I
right?
don't remember. I'm trying to think, and I was like, man,
September?
that was a while back.
Was it like September, October or something?
Yeah, around there. Sometime, yeah.
Anyway, so you've been doing a lot of like, you have really excelled during this pandemic. Like you have really gone, like I was making a list of stuff. I was at a Love and Light show, one of those shows.
Yeah.
And I saw you running around taking pictures. I was there the night that Dossie played and Max Frost.
Man, that was a really cool night.
Yeah, that was a great night. I saw your photos. You went out to the Black Lives Matter protests, and you were out there shooting photos. Amazing photos. The legendary topless voting photos, which speaks on two levels to me. Is that a lot of people? Some people, at least the people that I know out of that group, aren't people that are just show their boobs. So the person who they're going to have photograph them topless, even though they have stickers on, and they're doing it for a reason, they enlist somebody that they trust.
I agree. I felt really grateful to be able to work on that project, and like you said, yeah, it's just women, that are not necessarily into the topless world or any sort of nudity.
Exactly.
And just be given that sense of trust to work with them felt like a really, really good honor, especially for the cause,
Right.
And it was pretty amazing to be able to do that, and it was great. Honestly, like I was a little bit nervous too because out of the whole group, I only knew one of them, and it was kind of scary. You know, I'm about to meet somebody for the first time, and they're gonna be topless. So.
Yeah. Well, it shows that
he was super professional.
Yeah, of course. So let me keep on going through this list of things. You also were doing almost like an online music show where you'd shoot people performing.
I did. That's 0 Hour ATX.
Right, 0 Hour ATX. And you were doing, I guess that was 0 Hour, that was the company or the group that was doing the Blowies video too?
Correct, yeah. We started kind of doing this project, and Don and I had just worked in so many projects together through that, and he just kind of started doing bigger productions.
Right. So then the big thing that you did during this quarantine is I Am Here All Day, which is a book of portraits and words from mostly music artists in town, but also all kinds of artists are in there. Is it all musicians?
It is all musicians,
It is all
actually.
musicians. I guess because Todd's in there. I'm just joking.
Well,
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
So you were going around and shooting people. Tell me, explain what the book is and how you came up with the idea.
So around March of 2020, when South by was canceled, I think that was the moment that I was like, oh, something else is going on. You know, it's definitely like, something more scary than when we were kind of expecting, and everything got canceled. And my main focus has been concert photography and musicians. So at this point, you know, there are no shows. There's pretty much like nothing related to music can gather. And I asked myself, like, what can I do? What can I do to continue evolving as an artist, but at the same time focusing on music and musicians? And that's where this project started from. I guess for unfortunate reasons, all musicians were at their home during this time. So I was like, hey, like I can catch up with these very, very busy individuals and go to their home in a very safe manner and try to capture in a way this moment, try to capture it historically, but from a musician's point of view, because in the media, in out of like the necessity, you know, everybody's getting covered, like all these different areas of people are getting covered, and I felt there wasn't that much coverage in the music industry. Maybe for us in Austin, it was something like very, very impactful, but outside music scene, there was not much attention. I mean, you know how long it took for the venues to get funded and a lot of the relief because there wasn't that much attention. And I wanted to create like in a way like a time capsule of what was going on through my photography, but at the same time through the words of each of the musicians. So the book itself is composed of 118 portraits. One of them is mine, so 117 different people, so myself, and everybody share a story about the pandemic, how they got affected as individuals or as musicians, or pretty much like anything they wanted to share. It became this whole recollection. At first, it was something that I wanted, you know, to post to Instagram, and I was like, no, man, I want to hold it. I want to hold it and create something bigger. And it was definitely something very strange for me. I have such a quick turnaround in my projects that it was so weird working all these photos and not even be able to talk about it. I wanted to keep it to myself, and I wanted to see where things were going before I started defining it. And ultimately it turned into this beautiful project where I was able to pretty much create a whole book out of it. I had amazing friends who helped me out to do this project. One of them is fellow photographer David Brendan Haw. He facilitated a lot of the writing editing. And my friend Mayra Rubio, she served as the graphic designer. So between the three of us, we started tackling this project. And I mean, it's been one of the most fulfilling projects that I had ever done.
Yeah, I mean, it's gorgeous, Ismael, and it really it shows the connection that you have to all of us. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, we're those. I know you and me are friends, but you're also friends, better friends, all kinds of friends with everyone in the scene. It's pretty amazing. You've shot almost everyone now on some level. And this sort of trust and these shots just really come through. And I'm honored to be in the book as well. But I remember, was that like April or May or something when you shot me?
Probably. I don't remember the exact date, but I did the vast majority of the portraits between March and like May and June. I had a couple in August, but yeah, I would say probably sometime in April or May.
Yeah. Yeah, and all the things, I mean, it's beautiful to read. It is an amazing time capsule of this time. And it's also amazing that you're able to get it out while we're still at home. It seems like then if it goes on longer, you could probably even do part 2. Like, we're still here. I'm still here.
I thought about part 2. I thought about part 2, but man, yeah, that has been one of the things that, I mean, especially if we started the year, I just feel that there was this sense of hope of okay, we're on our way out, and just, it's starting to feel a little bit,
right,
a little bit stuck again. So it's kind of oh, there's this uncertainty going on again, and especially, I mean, it's just uncertainty overall, but especially in the music scene. It has been so quiet for such a long time, and people started to kind of, I know a lot of festivals started announcing, and slowly they started rolling back on those dates. And I mean, yeah, but going back a little bit to what you commented earlier about connecting with friends and all of that, I mean, yeah, for me, the book became a sense of connection to everybody. Most of my social scene is really in the music scene. Most of my friends, my business partners, all of them are in some way involved through the music scene. So the moment we are not having shows, are oh man, I missed a lot of people and wanted to, in one way or another, continue that connection. And it served me to get a good sense of reality early on when I was visiting people, and everybody would tell me the stories and what they're going through. And I mean, there was always this invisible barrier during this photo shoot, because, we're trying to protect ourselves, and we're so used to hugging each other and kissing and just that connection. And it was oh man, I'm working with my friends, but I cannot even hug them. So it was just a whole thing. And I was just looking for connection. I think art, especially photography, is my way to understand the world. And that's why I did this project. I mean, it's amazing that it's a book, but ultimately I'm I got to get to know myself better through this project. And that for me is just such a big achievement for what the project it is on its own.
Right. That's almost the goal of all art, is to get some sort of clarity and to take a step in your understanding of life and how things are going on around. You are a true artist, man. I got to tell you, you really are, man. All right, so let's talk about some of these 118 portraits or 117 Portraits Outside of You. You have Aaron Stevens, Riders Against the Storm, Dossie, Calliope Musicals, Trouble in the Streets, Walker Lukens, Night Glitter, Taz from Blaxploitation, Jackie Venson, Primo the Alien, People from Moving Panoramas. Did you reach out to anyone you didn't know?
Oh yeah, a lot of people, and I guess the difference was that I knew a lot of people from the scene, and it wasn't that strange. Or in a way, I knew them a little bit, but there were a lot of people that I hadn't had like a full conversation. Or I had photographed them before live, but never really like met them. And I even like more distant, like maybe I've been to like 5% of all the musicians that I took a photo of. I've been to their house. So kind of like I was going to so many areas in the city that I'd never been at. It was pretty. It was like, got to know a good amount of Austin this way for sure.
Yeah. Was when you got out there and did this, you knew you were going to do an Instagram. Did you have an idea? Like, is it going to be a coffee table book? Is that what because I have the electronic version.
Yeah. Let me see. Well, I guess can't see it can't see it, but.
Oh, wow. There it is.
Copy. Pretty much
shit, that's awesome.
It is the exact same thing as the electronic book.
Can you? Gorgeous. Can you say how much it costs to buy and where people will be able to get it at your website IQ3 Photo, right?
Correct. I guess at the moment of this podcast, the website is still under construction, but
right.
By the time it comes out, you'll be available through my website. There's gonna be a section where you're going to be able to see some of the portraits of the book, and another section where you're going to be able to buy either the physical or the electronic version of the book.
Right.
The book is going to be $100 for the physical version and $50 for the electronic version. I'll say that 100% of the profits from the book.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to.
We'll go to 6 different organizations in town. One of them is HAAM. Another one is Sim Foundation, DAWA, Banding Together, Niñas Arriba, and
Free Food.
Free lunch.
Free lunch. Sorry. Why did I put free food? Free lunch. Is that Jazz Mills?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Man, she really got that going too during this time, huh?
I think the way I saw it, she got it going on, and she has done she's working with a lot of musicians too, so that's why I felt inclined to help her organization. On top of like feeding the homeless, there's a good amount of musicians either working or volunteering with them. So
right, and so when you think about it, then it is actually a good. It's a good donation to each of those by it being $100.
Correct. And the other thing too, like price wise, photo books always been a little bit more on the expensive side as compared to regular books. And the other thing too, I chose to do it as an independent artist. So the volume of books that I can buy on my own as compared to like a publisher, have an impact in the price. But I feel that, man, the quality of the book is beautiful. It's just like, I had to make certain choices, where it was like, do I lean towards a cheaper price and like lower quality, or do I want the quality to stay true to the book? And I was like, no, I'm going to get like good quality paper, hardback, and just something that really represented what, for me, the book means.
It's a drag that right now you won't be able to have them in is Book People open? Yeah, right.
I don't know, but that's one of the plans that.
Are you going to be signing them? Is that?
I can, yeah. Like, I mean, I guess I'll put an option on the. When I
get mine, I'll have you sign it.
Man, I'll go hand deliver yours.
Oh man, that's too nice. Too nice. So Sims Foundation, HAAM, DAWA, Niñas Arriba, which is Gina Chavez's organization, Banding Together, and Free Lunch. What's your connection? Obviously, HAAM, you see all the musicians getting help. Sims, also all the musicians getting mental health and stuff like that. Your connection to DAWA?
With DAWA, I mean, Chaka started the project, so it's and a lot of like musicians are involved in their board, or people that have been involved in the music industry, and I also really love their idea of helping people, especially people of color, and given that all the protests and that happened during 2020, I want to make sure that, I was looking for organizations where musicians are doing big impact. So I picked them. I think they're just doing a wonderful job. It's a brand new organization, and I'm really excited for the work. They're very, very passionate people in there. So,
yeah. What when you were going out to the Black Lives Matter protests, how much? Because I feel like the question that I'm getting at is that through my experience this summer, through sitting down and really talking to a whole lot of people, guys I'd never talked to before, but having conversations I've never really had with people. I'm not a racist, but I did walk around excusing systemic racism without saying anything, without really understanding it. You know what I'm saying? Then as I got educated over the summer and learned more about it and read stuff and got more involved, I feel like I've come away with a better understanding of history and sort of a better understanding of the task at hand to heal this country in that way. I was going to ask you, in your involvement going down there, what do you feel like after you've come out of going through those protests?
Well, I've been having a lot of conversations with people as well that, maybe that I wasn't thinking about it before. And from the protests themselves, I just felt that there were a sense of like pressure that people have been feeling for years, and they're finding a place to kind of like say like, hey, we had enough, we want changes. And between the tension of the pandemic and unemployment, like, people started really, really feeling that pressure, and it just really pushed people to say like, hey, we had enough, we want change. Like, it's not only for the Black Lives Matter movement, but people are starting to say like, hey, we want a better world. Like, we are working until we die, and we're not seeing a lot of change. And in the protest, there's a mix of emotions. Sometimes I was just going there to kind of like maybe not even say anything, but to listen to people. Right. To just say like, I want to know people's stories, because it's through those stories that we learn. We can do all these social media posts and like campaigns and whatnot, but if we're not there talking to people and understanding, I don't feel like we're doing much. And even from my own side, like being a migrant from Mexico, and is sometimes even taking a step back from like, no, at least for myself, just knowing that the true nature of people is not to be this way, but there's a system in place that continues to reinforce certain behaviors or certain like attitudes towards minorities or like, you know, poor people or all these other things. And that's for me the important thing to start looking at. The people want that. People want like feel like their life is gonna be worth something, not just be thrown away or being another number.
Yeah. Do you see yourself going further into what? Because I mean, to me, those were like photojournalism excursions that you went on, and the posts and the photos that you saw. Is that something that you see yourself doing? I mean, what you do with live music is photojournalism as well, but like I meant it in a less sort of like artist focused and more societal or community focused way. I
mean, I would like to continue in certain ways, but I think my involvement in the music industry has been so much. And
right.
Apparently, there are certain like similarities when it came to capturing the protest. I mean, a big part of it when it comes to as far as like technique, it was a lot of the same things that I focus on for like music festivals and big crowds.
Right.
But diving, I don't mind diving into activism, but when it comes to maybe even like more political, I'm not really pretty much like driven by that. But I think in many ways, one of the things that I have done to be able to, like, let's say, continue some of the work from the protest is working with diverse groups of musicians, especially a lot of Black and brown artists. Over the pandemic, I have been able to work with Jackie Venson, who has been doing amazing activism work. For Black musicians. I've been working with Venom, who is a local punk band, and they've been fighting a lot of these.
Before it was cool.
Before it was cool, yeah. You know, they always, from what I heard, you know, they always kind of get into that YouTube trouble because of a lot of the songs are fighting like white supremacists, and sometimes they get tagged into that, and it's just like they've been doing a lot of that, and it makes me feel really, really proud of the work that I'm doing, that I'm able to capture some of these artists during this time, because it's very important. We're going through such a big change, and before we know it, we won't be able to like recognize ourselves in a couple of years. And I want to capture that.
Right.
I want to say like these were people that we might not see them in the front page or in the political spectrum or activism, but they were doing something for the community. And I'm really excited that I've been capturing a lot of that.
Yeah. Are they doing, they're doing an Austin Music Awards this year again, right?
They are.
You think you'll win?
There wasn't a live music photographer category.
There wasn't?
Unfortunately. No, there wasn't.
Oh.
I mean, I think from the whole thing, there might have been like 3 or 4 photographers who were active in the live music. I mean, I had the opportunity to do a lot of live music stuff, but
well, you did.
I mean, I think
you did win last year. Was the
year before? Todd won last year.
Oh, right, Todd did win last year. Oh man, if he's listening to this, he's gonna be mad. I might have to edit that out.
I can already hear
it. But you went to it, right?
I did actually work for. I worked for them, so I captured the awards. That was actually my last.
That was a lot of people's last.
Pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. So I remember, man, the uncertainty was like really, really weird because South by had already been canceled. So everybody was like, oh,
Right.
still going to happen or not? Like,
Right. I didn't go because of that.
I mean,
I was a last
hired
minute
and-
no go.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't blame you. It was like such a weird time. But that was my last show, and Jackie Venson was actually one of the hosts for
Right.
that ceremony.
She and
And
Chris
it was really
Cubis.
nice because
Yeah.
because we've been working so much, and we keep finding all these things like where we keep crossing paths, and that makes me really happy.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you think of, you did the Love and Light Stream drive-in show, and I got to go to one of those, and I was actually blown away by what a good event it was and how safe I felt while I was there doing the thing that I love to do. And I actually went on a really great weather night, and I went with a friend who has a convertible. So it was all pretty swanky and good, but there was great screens. The bathroom thing was great. The way you got your food and drinks delivered was super safe and cool. The sound was great. What did you think of it?
Man, I was in heaven every time I was there. I got really fortunate to find my way in with the Love and Light Script team, and like you said, it blew my mind. It wasn't like a simple production. We're talking about like big sound, pretty much like the equivalent of like small festival stage. And
Yeah, like the BMI stage at ACL or something.
correct. Yeah, I was thinking about that one. And I was so amazed that in the time that, what was going with, we're still in the pandemic, but even then there was like not much going on, and they step up and say like, hey, we got to do something not only for like the opportunity of being there, but also they were like, look, let's hire all local crew, let's bring as many local bands as we can. And for them it was a way to like continue the music going but give back to the community, because they donated to the profits to like Black Fred, HAAM, and I don't remember exactly what other organizations, but they saw this opportunity to help the community, and they took that opportunity and decided to have fun at the same time.
Right.
I would say that for me, I have been doing small shows here and there at that point. A lot of live streams, so it wasn't a lot of like big sounds. But I remember when the first day that I went there, and the first band that he played, and I remember feeling the subwoofer play like
Right, which you haven't
hit
felt in
my
a year.
body.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, man, this is like, that whole thing for me is when I had this realization of like, oh man, music is not only to hear the music, but there's a special thing about like low frequencies that hits your body and just makes you feel the music. And I remember I was like, got a little bit emotional because I haven't felt that in a long time, and it made me feel that I took live music for granted for such a long time. And
I don't think so, man. I think you might think so, but I don't think you have. I think you're one of the people that likes it the most that I know. That's the truth, man.
Well, also we are so lucky in Austin, we have so much shows, and it become such a regular thing for us. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful moment. And I got the opportunity to get some amazing photos, especially of a lot of bands from Austin that haven't had the opportunity to be on stage in like such a big production. And it was amazing because I love that I had the opportunity to see my friends being these bigger rock stars than sometimes a smaller stage like showcase them. And it was amazing. I was like, oh man, this is what music and community is about.
Yeah, totally, man. Totally. It is what it's about, isn't it? And it's interesting because the photography and music community in general have a good rapport. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Both are fans of each other.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I like I said, like David Brendan Hall was a fellow music photographer. He helped me out, and he was a great support because he's a writer as well, and for him had the opportunity to like work on the writing, making sure everything's correct, and because he has a good relationship with musicians, he was able to like bypass me to have any clarifications with the musicians. He would like contact them directly, and it pretty much like what I wouldn't feel the same way about the book if it wasn't because of him. Right. Because I had like somebody to lean on during those times where I had doubt. I wasn't feeling too good about it, wanted to give up, and he was great. And at the same time, like all these other photographers they're not like just friends. They're my family. Those are my like most deep relationships that I have in the music scene. He has been photographers, and I mean that's how like I even met my girlfriend. She's friends with David, and I met her through him. So you know, even like music photography is responsible for my beautiful relationship, and it just makes me so happy. I'm just like, man, I couldn't ask for like a better situation. You know? Yeah. I mean, I met you through like photography. You know, like even before we did any podcast. Right. Yeah. So I don't think I have any friends that are not related to the music industry.
No, I totally understand. I don't think that's a bad thing either. You actually, while we're talking about that, on the latest round of the artist development program at Austin Music Foundation, we did another album, and you came out and shot it. And what a great job you did, man. I was going through some of those pictures the other day, just blown away at those photos, man.
It was amazing. I'm really glad you guys continue doing that, because I feel it has been a program to really, really push musicians to discover themselves. And I mean, what a wonderful opportunity! You know, you're a musician. You offer like a couple of songs in one of the best studios in town, and then have some amazing mentors. So I just pressed the shutter. You know, the magic was already happening by the time I got there. Yeah. It's just beautiful.
So the other thing too is there's a lot of photographers that play music, photographers that play music. Hence Todd Wolfson being in there. Yeah. In the book. And you're the bass player in Guacamole Police, right?
I am. I'll be honest, I haven't picked up my bass in probably like about a year, but I mean, that was a project where for me, I got to experience this whole other side for myself. I tend to be pretty like chill, like not too crazy. I was pretty crazy during my 20s. So by my 30s, I'm like, okay, I'm going to chill out. But for the Guacamole Police was this whole like alter ego where I got to get really crazy, wild, and messy. And it was fun. I was playing music with my friends, and that's what it mattered. I mean, we did some really, really crazy stuff to the point where we had conversations like, hey, man, we might get kicked out of the venue and not get invited again. We continue like doing some of the crazy stuff.
What kind of crazy stuff are you doing?
See, so we actually wrap in ceramic plastic your godchild, Sean. You know how we wrap him up in ceramic plastic. he was shirtless. We wrapped him in plastic and dump a bowl of guacamole on his chest and have like a bowl of chips next to him. So people while we were playing were able to like
walk up
pretty much get guacamole off his chest. So I love it that Sean was like 100%. He didn't even like.
I like that you're like, we got your godson. And so my godson, for those of you listening, is this guy, Sean Crooks, who was wrapped in saran wrap, covered in guacamole, and then people ate the guacamole off of his chest with chips.
I love it that he didn't even like, we throw him the idea and he replied right away, I'm in. Like, he didn't even like, he's like, do whatever you want. We had another show in Harlingen, in South Texas, where we were gonna play, and we bought like 2 big like 40-ounce malt liquor, and we had 2 buckets and all these like water cannons, and during the middle of the sun, like we opened the beer and poured in the bucket. We didn't tell the bar, and like we poured in the beer and like started loading them with like all these water cannon with beers, and then people would just like we pour the beer on like people's mouths. I mean, and I mean we just do like all these crazy things. But at the end of the show or at the end of our set, we would gather all our cleaning supplies and then pretty much like clean the whole.
Of course you would. I was gonna say those kind of antics. You seem so much nicer than that, and then I'm like, well, of course you staying clean.
And people would like start tripping out because they're like, oh my god, like they would see us like cleaning. We're mopping all the beer and then just kind of like making sure there wasn't like any food or anything left. And
yeah,
people. I mean, I think that's my point. I'm gonna have fun, but. He just, we're in it together. We're not up to like get anybody in trouble but
right,
ourselves.
Of course not.
Know?
Yeah.
Man, it was fun.
Yeah.
We actually like, we're still figuring out where to go. We're already in the talks of like doing a different band, something more, a little bit more mainstream without like the crazy alter egos, but like same people, we're gonna shuffle around a couple like instruments where Esther was gonna be the lead singer of the band instead of Carter, and we were gonna pretty much like give the spotlight to her. We're still working out how that's gonna look like, and things kind of halted in the pandemic. But I mean, yeah, the interest is still there.
Right. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, because for a guy that is at so many shows a week, like so many shows a week for the last few years. When everything went down and it switched to live stream, what do you think of the whole? I mean, obviously it's a great thing for those that are fans, but do you get anything out of it, or does it just make you miss live shows more? Man, people are probably gonna hate me when I say this, but I have not been able to get into the live stream, and I think for me it's not the quality of the music is. Like we were talking about earlier, there's that like bass that hits your body, or right, or like certain frequencies that just hit your body, and that's what makes you feel the music. And unless you have a big production and are able to like stream everything, something like fiber optics, everything just gets compressed, and then it gets like. It's squished, and then it's just not able to get the same quality. But I think for many artists has been the way to continue connecting their fan base. So I really, really appreciate the bands that, they were like really realized they're not there for a specific kind of music. They're there for like just music in itself rather than like live music performance, and they continue. And I mean, you have seen artists like Jackie Venson who have been doing so amazing. Oh my God, yeah. Streaming, and I think that
through the streaming, she has been able to connect in a deeper level with her fans.
Not just her, I mean, not just the fans that she had before the pandemic, but she's been, I mean, she's played to well over 1 million people.
I know. And she has had a couple months where she has done it every single night.
Every single night. Yeah.
That's commitment right there. You know, I feel like that's somebody who said, I'm not going to let the pandemic kind of destroy everything that she's building. Instead, she rerouted. And, you know, she continues with the same passion that she had, just in a very different format. And and that for me was something that I really admire. But aside from that, you know, the sound quality is hard. You know, is not everybody had the resources to be able to have a full production. And when it came to 0 Hour, that's why we lean more to like pre-recorded stuff, because we wanted to get the most quality out of that what we had right now. And we were kind of like exploring some of the live streams. So we're like, man, like it wasn't gonna satisfy me the way with the resources that we had, so we decided to just do it in a different way. But it's still there, you know.
Right. There's I mean, there are a few that are really amazing, and they're ones that, I mean, I do it with the band, but it's one static camera, like Skyrocket does. It's one static camera, even though it's all of us on there and we're moving around and doing the thing. And that's just simply out of the fact that we're trying to make a living doing this, and if we bring in more people, more cameras, we're just not going to make as much money. And so I've done a thing where I do it solo and stuff, but the thing that I've really gotten the most out of, and something that I think that I've connected with the most and been like, oh shit, I would, if I didn't know this band, I might become a fan of a band out of this, was the one that oh God, why am I drawing a blank on their name? Pleasure Venom. The one that Pleasure Venom did. Where they filmed it with different cameras and things new. That was really great.
Yeah, no, I mean, there has been some really, really good live stream shows.
Yours have been good too. I mean, not to say that they're not. They're really good. Yeah, they're beautiful looking and stuff.
Thank you. One of my favorites that I like, and I think it was really, really clever, is Coffee with Croy from Croy and the Boys.
Right.
Like, Corey I think he picked a really, really good spot. You know, I think he was like, hey man, all of the night shows are kind of already taken, and he like, let me do something Sunday, early Sunday, and he had some amazing success with that show.
Is he still doing it?
Yeah, I don't think he's doing it as frequent as he used to, but I know he's still doing it. And I think when he came to the live stream, you had to be a little bit creative in those sense, because there was an overwhelming amount of live streams at some point, and you're like, you know, what am I gonna see? So I really like how creative some people got with the live streams.
Yeah, me too. So, dude, you've got this book coming out on Friday, March 12th. You know, you've been doing all this other stuff, but what's next? What happens after March 12th?
Well, right now I've been doing a lot of music videos. We started diving in more into that realm. One of them, we just released one of Glass Shadows, a new band in town, and that was a cool opportunity to kind of work on a small budget but still make it very interesting. I have a video right now that we're working for Pleasure Venom, another one we're working for Scott Collins, and yesterday we finished a 3-day shoot with Jackie Venson. So I'm diving into that.
Now, are those like music videos like the kind that we know from MTV, or are these like live performance videos?
These are more like music videos, kind of like that you with MTV. And for me, doing the 0 Hour ATX project, that was for me this project where I told Don, I was like, hey man, like I want to learn video. Right now there's not that much going on. Like, can we do this? We have been talking about it for like a long time. And they're like, well, let's do it. And I think that for me, started creating this dynamic with him and also with Carter Griggs, who does our sound. And it started creating this whole dynamic as far as like video production. And I feel that I did it so much that I finally got to a point that I'm comfortable with it. I mean, I did learn through doing video how it is more of a team effort, and started diving into like bigger productions and working with director of photography and like sound people and all these other branches where for the most part I work on my own in photography. So it's really nice to be able to like even, expand a little bit of my own horizons. When it comes to photography, I think right now I'm at this phase where maybe by the time the book comes out, like I am taking a step back with the intent of learning more. It's really hard kind of for me to be working on projects and be learning new stuff in parallel. I mean, and I'm able to do it, but then I'm starting to dedicate some of my available time to my own health. So it just kind of really, really starting to be like, hey, like what's important for me right now? And for me, is just photography is really, really important, but I want to become better at it to continue growing and continue like just becoming a better photographer, and also to be able to like get inspiration from other areas, getting to experience different art forms and later integrate it into my own.
Yeah.
And I want to do more photojournalism in the sense of I want to create bigger stories, especially like off the stage. For the longest time, it was like, hey, live music and it's great, and that's still gonna continue being passion of mine. But I want to be able to tell like stories of like musicians, of the music industry. So
like you did with I'm Here All Day.
Exactly. Yeah, it came from that. And I was like, for me, also the book has become, in a way, a portfolio where I'm gonna use when it comes to like, I don't have any formal training in like photography school. So I want to be able to like say like, hey, look, I'm able to put together this kind of project. Yeah. And start leaning more towards like reaching out to certain publications that focus more on the journalist aspect of photography in the music sense. Like, I know that there's so much to do out there, but for me is telling the story through the music, through the musicians, and at the end of it, just I'm doing all of this to continue learning more about myself by learning about others.
Yeah, man, a true artist on a journey. Dude, I'm so proud of you, man. You've done such great work. This book is absolutely beautiful, and the fact that you got quotes from everyone, not just quotes, but like people wrote a paragraph and 2 paragraphs. Mine was, I thought it was funny when I read mine, not to focus on it. It just made me laugh because I was like, every couple of days I have a day like whenever I wrote that where I'm like, this has been terrible. I've never experienced anything like this. I can't believe this is. It feels like it's never going to end. Obviously, it encapsulates the anxiety, but there is, reading a lot of them. There are ones that explore the hope and explore the positive of what people have been able to do under these circumstances, just like you, like turning lemons into lemonade, basically,
Yeah, and we structured the book in that way because for me, I know that there's gonna be certain reactions like yours are like, oh man, like I am not same space, or I'm still like a lot of people might still be, but at that moment you were feeling that, you know, at that moment you were like connected to that, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want to see like where the pandemic went or how people ultimately deal with it. I wanted to capture like right now at that, like especially like 2020, like what was a realistic view of the music industry.
Yeah. Well, man, this is going to be coming out on Friday, March 12th as well. So today is the day you can get a physical copy or an online copy and help out these great nonprofits: SIMS, HAAM, DAWA, Niñas Arriba, Free Lunch, and Banding Together. 118 portraits featuring Lowen, Jackie Venson, Lord Friday the 13th, Primo, The Alien, Moving Panoramas, Riders Against the Storm, Aaron Stevens, Night Glitter, Walker Lukens, Blaxploitation, Pleasure Venom. You got Audrey on the cover there. What a beautiful cover. And people can go to iq3photo.com to see all of your work and to purchase these books. It's a great way to support Austin music, and also it's music-oriented nonprofits. You know?
Thank you very much for having me, man. It's always great talking to you. And yeah, everybody can get the book there. I really, really appreciate any help that we can get. And I don't know, honestly, I'm really excited for this to be released into the world.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited about it. I'm really honored that I get to be in it, and it really is a gorgeous testament. I am going to get one for my coffee table, and there was something I was going to say is people could, there's a contact thing at iq3photo.com where people can get a hold of you if they want to do a video with you or a photo shoot with you or whatever it is.
There is,
of course.
Right now, well, I mean, it'll be ready by the time this episode comes out. But
right.
I'm restructuring my whole website right now, but yeah, there's gonna be even more stuff that there is at the moment. So
great. Well, dude, thank you so much, and I love you. I love what you contribute to this community, and you're always a pleasure to work with. I always look forward to seeing you. It's always a great time hanging with Ismael.
Likewise, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ismael Quintanilla, what a beautiful, beautiful person, and amazing, amazing photographer. What a great undertaking and gorgeous book he's done with I Am Here All Day. Available now. It's only $50 for the digital copy, and it's $100 for the physical copy. I'm ordering the physical copy right now. It's out. Go to iq3photo.com. I'll put a link to his book in the text of this podcast. So go down there and check it out. Ismael Quintanilla, I always enjoy talking to him. He's so fantastic. Dude, we got to do a photo shoot if you're listening still to this show. I don't know if he listens to his own interviews, but if he does, let's do a shoot soon. Hey, gang, don't forget when you're out there going to iq3photo.com to check out Ismael's photos and his book, I Am Here All Day. You can subscribe to this podcast wherever it is that you find podcasts, be it Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Overcast, Stitcher, all the places. All the places. If you get the Podbean app, you get access to every single interview ever on this show, and along with all of your other favorite shows. All right? So you can go download the Podbean app or go to podbean.com and get involved there. Follow us at How Did I Get Here? And don't forget to share these shows. Yeah, don't forget to share it. Like it, share it, do what you can. Ismael Quintanilla. I love that dude. Have a great week, whatever it is you're doing. Go get I Am Here All Day. Let's get down.